Today we'll be looking at a couple of new cards that we might include in the Dark Magician engine going forward. One of them is Diabellestar, the Dark Witch, a level 7 Dark Spellcaster effect monster, and we'll get into her effects very soon. Next is a quick play spell, the Tainted Treasure Hunter Fiend. This will search out your Diabellestar. Another quick play spell, this one Tainted Treasure of Doom, Luciel. This one is basically going to let you pop your opponent's monsters on the field and make your spellcaster unaffected by your opponent's monster effects. And finally, we have a trap card, the Tainted Treasure of Betrayal, Sylvia. Now, this card is basically an imperm, but you have to send a Diabellestar monster from hand or face-up field to the grave. It also has an additional effect in the grave to negate an opponent's response to a Diabellestar monster effect or a Tainted Treasure spell trap effect, which are all the spell traps we've looked at so far. We'll go over these cards in more detail very shortly. Hello and welcome back, my fellow Dark Magician degenerates. Today we're looking at how we can use Diabellestar, the Dark Witch, in Dark Magician. Now, she is a spellcaster, level 7, Dark, 2500 attack, 2k defense. She's pretty much Dark Magician's new GF. Move out of the way, DMG. You are garbage now. We're going to look at some of the combos that I've made with these cards, and we're going to experiment a little bit too. So let's start with this one. We're going to normal summon the Rod. It's going to get us the Soul Servant. We're going to activate the new spell card. We have Tainted Treasure, which searches Diabellestar. Diabellestar is going to come out here. I'm just going to pause it real quick because her summoning requirement is by sending a card from hand or field to the graveyard. So in this case, we're going to send that Soul Servant that Rod searched straight to the grave, and that pretty much gives us a free summon of the Diabellestar. Now, there's some combos where you can send Rod, but we'll get to them after. So let's keep going. Next, we're going to summon out souls by sending that Dark Magician, and that means we're actually able to banish Soul Servant and get a cheeky draw, which will matter later. We do draw Inheritance, but it doesn't really matter. We're just going for that extra draw for their free card more than anything. In this case, we could actually use the Inheritance after we put this card in the grave, for example, if we wanted to send it for draws and stuff, but we didn't. Anyway, we're going to keep going with this little combo. Rod is going to go away for IP. Rod and Soul, linked away for IP. Now, on the opponent's turn, we're able to set this spell card. And what the Tainted Treasure of Doom, Luciel, does is on the opponent's turn, we're going to target our beautiful Diabellestar here. And that means it's unaffected by monster effects. And all face-up monsters your opponent controls lose 2500 attack till the end of their turn. If they hit 0, they're destroyed. We're able to then use our IP mask and link our way into Unicorn, of course, using the Diabellestar and the IP, and we're going to discard that Inheritance, and that's going to let us pretty much have multiple disruptions on the opponent's turn. Alright, we're going to look at another combo we can use that utilizes the new cards from Diabellestar. So this is the ideal path to go for the maximum amount of draws. So you can go for the Tainted Treasure Hunter Fiend, and this is going to add you the Diabellestar monster. So we're going to go ahead and grab it from hand or grave, so pretty good. Pretty good, grabs it from anywhere. It does have a graveyard effect, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Normal summon Rod, and Rod's going to go and grab our Soul Servant, because once again, we don't have any pieces of the Dark Magician Triangle. So you know what, we're just going to go for this, because it's the most generic piece. Plus, it's very good for getting free draws, so we're going to send Rod away for Diabellestar, the Dark Witch. Now, her effect will activate, and that is going to let us go and grab any of her spell traps. So we can grab the one we've already used, but we've already used it, so there's no point. You're normally going to want to grab this spell because it's very good on the opponent's turn, as we've seen previously, or this trap because it's basically an imperm with extra steps, but it's also got a graveyard effect. So you know what? We're going to grab this one. This is the maximum value for draws here, and that's exactly what we're going for. So next, we need to summon out Magician Souls. Now, of course, to do this, we've got to put that bricky boy in the bin. Now, there he goes, DM in the bin. Now, we could send these two for 2 draws here. Actually, I think that's exactly what we need to do. So let's go ahead and use Magician Souls effect, sending Soul Servant to the grave and this trap to the grave, and we're going to draw 2 cards of this. Now, look, the draws are pretty good. They're not too shabby at all. Now, they're just going to be blank cards, so they're not going to be a part of this combo. I know some people might say, oh, you could change Soul Servant and get what you want off the draws. Yeah, great. Do that in a real duel, but we're just showing off how many draws we can get here. So, we're going to banish Soul Servant, and this is going to get us 1 more draw. Cool and nice. We've already used that card, but it's still pretty nice to draw another one. Now we're going to use the other effect of the Tainted Treasure. So Tainted Treasure, when you banish this, you can actually target one of the spell traps engraved, the Tainted Treasure spell traps, put it on the bottom of the deck and draw 1. So here we are, putting this on the bottom of the deck, and we draw 1. Now you could change your Soul Servant here, but obviously we're pretending these are free cards. Look at that. We've gone up to 4 cards in hand from a 3-card start. That's pretty nice. Now we are still left with a Diabellestar and a Magician Souls, so Anaconda type. No, I'm kidding. There's no Anaconda anymore, but this is pretty nice. And obviously you do want to have some kind of disruption on your opponent's turn, but I think using this engine as a draw engine sometimes can be really nice too. If there's a certain card that wins you the matchup, this could be a great way to draw into like your Super Poly or whatever side deck card you have that just wins you the matchup. For example, Secret Village here would be an amazing draw off the top. But you get what I mean. This engine's very flexible. You can use it to disrupt your opponent. You can use it to just set up a bunch of draws. It's pretty cool. All right, let's just run a test hand and see how we go. Oh, okay. Well, let's do this first. This seems good. This will let us go and get Bellstar. Nice. All right, we've got Diabellestar in the hand. Great. Good start. Good start. Prep, Upstart, Goblin. All right, we've got some combos here, so let's go for Preparation. Also got Circle. I wonder if that can get us anywhere important. Not too sure. Not too sure at all. But I almost want to just drop the Upstart here in case we do find a Dark Magician spell trap that we can add with Circle back from the Illusion of Chaos effect, if you're following me. I do think we're getting rid of this Timaeus. I don't think we need it. Let's reveal the Illusion of Chaos anyway, and we'll go through that effect. Now, I'm pretty sure with a hand like this, we can make Dragoon, but I don't know if that's the optimal play. Actually, maybe it is. Maybe making Dragoon and also ending on a Bellstar trap card or spell card negate could be the way. So in fact, let's go and grab Magician's Souls. Now we do have to put a card back on top of the deck here. Oh, you know what? It's not Magician's Souls. We actually add the Dark Magician here. Yeah, no. This is one of those weird scenarios where we add the Dark Magician. So let's put this back on top of the deck, and I'll show you why. We actually want Dark Magician. So imagine I redid that Illusion of Chaos, and we grab Dark Magician. Now we put it on top of the deck. For real, we put it on top of the deck. Because now I can activate the circle and know that it's going to hit top 3 at a DM. It also hits another circle, cool. But we're just going to grab the DM here. And now our cards in hand haven't changed at all. Or we could always just put the Illusion of Chaos back. But ideally, we want to keep it to send with Timaeus for a free summon here. Now, we did see... What did we see on the top there? We saw... Oh, the deck's been shuffled. Well, we'll never know now. We saw something. We could draw into Upstart and draw it if we wanted to. But let's not do that. Let's pretend the card we saw was garbage, so we don't care about it. This is probably a good time to summon Timaeus. I think we summon the Timaeus out here, sending this to the graveyard. And then we're going to activate the Timaeus effect Diffuse. Sending these two to the graveyard. That's going to get us into our big boy Dragoon, which means the rest of our plays here are going to be very free. We do need to send a card, and you know what? This circle's not doing anything now, so let's get rid of that circle to summon her out for free. And then we're going to be able to use her effect. Sorry, I should have declared that. Use her effect, and we're able to grab an interruption for the opponent's turn. We could grab the trap, which would send her away, target a card on the field, negate its effects. So a second negate alongside Dragoon. Or we could just grab this. It does target a level 7 or higher spellcaster, which unfortunately DM just isn't that, right? You can't target DM because he can't be targeted. So that is a bit unfortunate that we can't use this with Dragoon, but we can use this with herself, and I think the card is quite good. I'm just thinking what's better here. You'd either go for the trap for another negate or this for a weird effect. I'm kind of down to try this. At this point, our graveyard's kind of filled up. Alright, there's not much else to do. I guess we would drop the Upstart, get a random draw here. It's Apprentice. That's actually a really good draw because we can use it on either of these Dark Spellcasters. This is nice. This is nice. Oh, and we could even chain it with this. So we would pass turn on the opponent's turn. If our opponent had some like magically massive board, we'd actually be able to... Oh, this does set it, by the way. This does set it directly to the field. I should point that out. I was putting it in my hand. It does directly set it. Yeah, on the opponent's turn, we're able to go, negate with Dragoon. And then at some point after that, if they're still comboing off and they've got multiple monsters on the field, you'd flip up the Tainted Treasure Doom, targeting a level 7. So this would be my target. And I would say this face-up monster is unaffected by the other monster effects for the turn. Send it to the grave during the standby phase of the next turn. And also face-up monsters you opponent control lose attack equal to that monster's attack. And then if any are reduced to 0, delete them. I'll destroy them. So that would be pretty nice, to be honest. And that's pretty much it. The opponent would probably have to pass from there, and we would draw for turn. This would go to the grave in the standby phase. And you know what? Dragoon pop 1 and swing is not going to be it. And not enough for game, unfortunately. But you know what? That wasn't too shabby for the first test hand ever. So I think these ratios are the correct ones. We've got 2 of the Diabellestar, the Dark Witch, because she's kind of like the DM of this archetype or engine, and you've got this spell which adds her from deck or grave back to hand. So you could even get away with 1. It might be a bit risque, but I think 2 might be the way. You know, you could probably play Allure of Darkness in here as well and just get a bit of extra free value if you wanted to. But yeah, you'd have to, you know, remake it for 40 cards. Talking about her spell, now we've got, obviously this spell is just Rhoda for her, which is very, very good. It has the main phase effect, banish this card from your grave and target one of the spell traps that's banished during grave, and then you just put it on the bottom of your deck, draw 1. So that has great synergy with Soul Servant and Circle, and a lot of DM cards is getting a free draw. It also recycles any of the spell traps used, which I think is a good reason to play them at 1, but maybe in a pure list you'd play them at 2. But for an engine's sake, it's like 3/2 and then 1 of the trap and 1 of the other spell. Now this spell is the cracked one where you target a level 7 or higher, apply these effects in sequence, all face-up monsters. The face-up monster is unaffected by opponent's monster effects till the end, and then send it to the graveyard at the start of your next turn in the standby phase. Then we have the second part of the effect that activates. All face-up monsters your opponent controls currently lose attack equal to that monster's attack. So 25, it'll be always 25. Then if those monsters' attack has been reduced to 0, destroy them. That's very cool, and an interesting form of removal, like a Slive of the Sky Dragon kind of removal, which is cool. Then we've got the Tainted Treasure of Betrayal Sylvia. This is the trap card, and this one says, send a Diabellestar monster from hand or face-up field to grave, target a face-up card on the field, negate its effects. So that is really cool right there. And then when your opponent activates a card or effect in response to one of your Diabellestar monsters or the Tainted Treasure spell traps, you can banish this card from grave and negate the opponent's effect. So they're really cool that this protects your Diabellestar monster effect from resolving, as well as this trap. So getting this in grave turn 1 might be the play. This might be the best card for this to send to summon itself, just so you can activate her effect, and if they hand trap you, you can just chain this straight away. It seems really nice. Anyway, that's my takes on the engine. Let me know in the comments what you think of this engine. This engine seems really cool. I'm not sure how expensive it will be, however. But anyway, let me know what you think of Diabellestar the Dark Witch, and I'll catch you guys very soon. Peace. Hey you, yeah you, you've been wondering where I get my singles from. Well, it brings me great joy to say I get my singles from Grimdark Gaming. Whether you play Yu-Gi-Oh!, Digimon, Dragon Ball, Flesh and Blood, Magic the Gathering, MetaZoo, or whatever it is you're after, make sure with your purchase to use code Loza2 and apply that to get 5% off your order. And of course, that 5% goes to helping me out to make this channel so awesome for you. So make sure you check out Grimdark Gaming down in the description of this video and use the promo code Loza2.